Assalamualaikum. My final year project is entitled The Development and Quality Evaluation of SWEETMELT Dead Soft Cookies. In this study, date syrup is used as substitute ingredient in the soft cookies formulation to contribute to a softer texture and enhance the nutritional value. The research on analyzing the changes in the physical and sensory qualities of the soft cookies after substitution. Several analyses were carried out, including texture analysis, moisture and ash content determination, color measurement, and sensory evaluation to assess consumer acceptance. The overall objective is to determine the optimal level of date syrup substitution that produce soft cookies with desirable texture, appearance, and taste.
For the problem statement, is based on the question, can soft cookies still be made successfully when we replace brown sugar with date syrup? It is uncertain whether this change can maintain good structure, taste, and texture. This substitution may also cause change in color, moisture, and ash content, which can influence the overall cookie's quality. Besides that, consumer acceptance may vary due to the different sweetness and aroma when using natural date syrup. For the objective of this study is to produce SWEETMELT soft cookies using date syrup as a natural sweetness in place of brown sugar. Next, to analyze the effect of the substitution on the texture, moisture, ash content, and color measurement of the cookies. And finally, to evaluate the sensory characteristic and consumer acceptability at different levels of date syrup substitution. Through this objective, we aim to create a better, softer cookies using natural ingredients.
The methodology we use to produce the soft cookies are texture analyzer used to measure the hardness and softness of the soft cookies. This analysis helps to determine how the substitution of date syrup affects the texture of the soft cookies. Second, the ash content analysis to determine the total mineral content in the soft cookies after baking. This showed that nutritional composition related to the substitution. Another analysis that we analyze are color measurement using a colorimeter to evaluate the changes in color between the control and substituted sample. Color is an important factor that affects consumer perception. And finally, the sensory evaluation to assess consumer acceptance in terms of color, texture, aroma, and overall acceptability. All these analyses to evaluate how the use of the date syrup influences the physical and sensory qualities of the SWEETMELT date soft cookies. The methodology we use to produce the soft cookies are texture analyzer used to measure the hardness and softness of the soft cookies. This analysis helps to determine how the substitution of date syrup affects the texture of the soft cookies. Second, the ash content analysis to determine the total mineral content in the soft cookies after baking. This showed that nutritional composition related to the substitution. Another analysis that we analyze are color measurement using a colorimeter to evaluate the changes in color between the control and substituted sample. Color is an important factor that affects consumer perception. And finally, the sensory evaluation to assess consumer acceptance in terms of color, texture, aroma, and overall acceptability. All these analyses to evaluate how the use of the date syrup influences the physical and sensory qualities of the SWEETMELT date soft cookies. For the result we successfully obtained our age content, the result show that the age value slightly increased with the addition of the syrup. This indicates that the mineral content was higher in the substituted sample compared to the control. For the color measurement, it different between the control and substituted soft cookies. The color became slightly darker as the level of the syrup increased due to the natural brown color of the syrup. The texture analysis show that the soft cookies with that syrup were softer compared to the control sample. This proved that that syrup contributes to a softer texture. Next, for the moisture content samples with higher level of that syrup recorded slightly higher moisture value. This may be because that syrup retains more water in the dough. So finally, the sensory evaluation analysis results of panelists gave higher score for taste, color, and overall acceptance for our soft cookies with moderate substitution of date syrup. This showed that consumers prefer the soft cookies that had a soft texture and a natural sweetness from the dates. Overall, for the substitution of date syrup improved the texture and sensory quality of the SWEETMELT date soft cookies.
The impact of this study is that it introduced syrup as a natural sweetener, enhancing the overall quality profile of sweet-made cookies. Cookies made with date syrup have a softer texture and a unique caramel-like flavor compared to regular soft cookies. This project also promotes the use of local ingredients in innovative bakery products, supporting creativity in the local foods industry. The sustainability aspect of this project focuses on using natural and eco-friendly ingredients. First, it helps reduce food waste by utilizing surplus or imperfect date from local farms that would otherwise be discarded. Second, it lowers the carbon footprint by minimizing reliance on energy process intensive processed sugar production. Third, it promotes biodegradable ingredients by avoiding synthetic additives. And finally, it supports local agriculture by strengthening sustainable farming practice and empowering local dairy growing. For the conclusion of this study shows that the present brown sugar with state syrup and SWEETMELT cookies is successful. The cookies produced had a good softness, attractive color, and high overall acceptability. Although there were slight variations in texture, moisture, and ash content, the result was still positive. Consumers preferred the medium level formulation too, and all objectives were successfully achieved, proving that state syrup can be effectively used as a natural alternative to sugar in soft cookies production.